We just found out that the Supreme Court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade, the decision from 1973 that legalized abortion in all 50 states. And the court, thanks be to God, has recognized the flaw in that case and has overturned it. Thanks be to God. We're delighted, that the possibility of defending the lives of all children is now once again open to us in all 50 states, including right here in North Dakota. So what a beautiful and a great day this is. A response to a lot of prayers, a lot of very, very hard work for many, many decades. The interesting thing that occurs to me is that for a long time, people have been saying this issue is done and over. You people just need to get over it. Well, we never have. And I think that's because the people of this nation recognize the dignity of human life, even in the womb. And so it's just a cause for great joy that this decision has been handed down by the court. As I've said on a number of other occasions, that doesn't mean our work is done. We're going to still have a lot of work to do to keep building up a culture of life and to keep working for the mothers and the children that they carry. But this is a great moment. It's a great day for all of us. There is what Pope St. John Paul II called a culture of death has really taken hold of our culture, of our society. We see violence happening in so many different ways. And why should we be surprised? Because in these last years, we've been fed this line that, you can even take the life of a child, of a baby, and do so with impunity. So, it's true. We have a lot of work to do. We have to go back and we have to reassert what we have always believed, and that is that every life is created in the image of God, in the image and likeness of God. And every life deserves protection. Every life is to be cherished. We're going to have a lot of work to do, teaching and certainly continuing to pray and make sacrifices, and by our example, above all, I think, to show by the way we live that life matters and that we're serious about this. Certainly, we defend the life of the child before birth, but we also are there and have been there to help after birth as well. We've been supporting moms in need, and as the campaign that recently began says, we've been walking with moms in need for decades now, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'm sure that we're going to even build on those efforts and even redouble them, so that women really never think that abortion is their only choice, and so that all people in this country would come to realize that abortion is unthinkable. We've seen this kind of a great conversion of heart before. There was a time when slavery was just acknowledged as a given. But now I think that's just recognized as being preposterous. And we need to get that to that same place with abortion. So with God's grace, we will. It's no accident that today is the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart, when we really recognize the unbounded love and mercy of God. And that's shown to us in this Supreme Court decision, that God's grace is at work to kind of pull us up from this morass that we've been in. But it's also very, very evident every time we celebrate the Mass, every time we celebrate the Eucharist, receive the Eucharist, pray before the Eucharist. I think during this Eucharistic revival that we've just begun throughout the nation, and including in our own diocese, we're being called back to our Lord. We're being called back to a deeper faith, an encounter with Jesus in the Eucharist. He's the source of all grace for each one of us and for the Church, really for our whole world, for the culture too. And so, this Eucharistic revival really is a moment of grace for all of us. We're carrying Christ within us by virtue of our faith, by virtue of the grace that dwells within us through that faith. And I think that especially through compassion, through works of charity, through the mercy, through the outreach that we do to those in need, we are manifesting the presence of Christ in the world. The Eucharist is the real presence of Christ, but he lives in each one of us through grace, and he sends us forth. Pope Francis calls every one of us as baptized Christians to be a missionary disciple, and that word missionary means that we're sent out. We're believers, we're disciples, we're followers, to be sure, but it's not enough just to believe and sit there. You gotta believe and take it out into the world, and you do that in the most ordinary encounters that you have with others. And some of those are going to be memorable, and some of those are going to be very forgettable. But in all things, our Lord is forming us, and the more we come into touch with him in this personal relationship with the Eucharist, with Christ in the Eucharist, the more he's going to be able to form our hearts and form our lives, and the more he's going to be able to work through us to touch the lives of others. So, what you say is very true. We can't just rest on our laurels here, and we can't be content with just going through the motions, especially when it comes to our Eucharistic faith. Our Lord is inviting us to something deeper, and I think that's what this Eucharistic revival is going to be about for all of us.